grandest vision possible for your life because you become what you believe.
Dig deep down and ask yourselves, who do you want to be?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Majitana Bongwana, welcome to it. Another edition of In the Game with MPIXO.P, the greatest. Listen, we just came to the end of the African Cup of Nations, an exciting one that is. But I can tell you, man, I don't know, I've got mixed emotions because I felt like Bafana could win it, but unfortunately we couldn't. But we got the bronze medal, so we didn't come empty-handed. Also, Ronwen Williams being the best goalkeeper, getting that golden glove. You know, that those are kind of exciting things to look forward to. But also, you know that when we start the show, I look at some of the exciting headliners that came out since the last show. And some of them is that the Varsity Cup is coming through. The Varsity Rugby is coming through very soon. It kicks off on the 19th of this month. So I'm excited for that one. And also, let's talk about the attendance in the ABC Motsepe League games. It's amazing. I was watching a Bloemfontein Celtic as well as CUT game this past Sunday, and the grandstand was packed at the Dr. Rantlai Molemela Stadium, and you could see other people on the other side of the stadium, so that's quite impressive. But also, a blue card could be something that is introduced to us in football, and this is where I'm gonna get our guest, the man that you know that we've been talking African Cup of Nations with, that is Coach Dona. Coach Dona, first of all, welcome to the show once again, man, and thank you so much for honoring our invite again.
Thanks for having me, and once again, thank you to Free State Online for having me. Thank you so much.
Listen, Coach, the blue card, your thoughts on the blue card? Because I'm quite excited for it. Like I was saying off air, you know, when we just having our chat, that one thing that is exciting, I feel like sometimes, you know, there are instances where we are between a yellow card and a red, and you end up giving a player a red card because you know you can't look at the punishment and say it's too light, even though it deserves a red card. What do you think of the blue card?
So for me, the bottom line of the blue card, maybe a similar argument to when VAR was introduced, is that it takes away from the essence of the game, man. You understand? Yeah, the beautiful game, football as we know it, has a set of rules that it's been governed by, you know, and I think issues like blue card, VAR kind of take away from the essence of what football is about, you know. Yes, we know that looking back, when you look at replays, you will feel that someone got a red card that they didn't deserve, or a yellow card but that's part of the game, you know. That's part and parcel of why we love the game. So I'm not in support of it, and I think similar to VAR, lots of complaints, because at the end of the day, these things are man-made, you understand. So there is room for error. So I just feel that it takes away from the essence of the game.
I thought as a coach you were going to be excited because I thought about it in an instance when we played Nigeria, that incident of Grant Kekande. Maybe would have, you know, you could see the referee took some time before he could decide as to whether, you know, it's a straight red or not. Like, you could see he couldn't decide, but at the end of the day, you go back to the book of law and say, you know what, he was the last man. Unfortunately, this situation happened. But I think if the blue card was in play, he could have maybe said, blue card, go sit outside for 10 minutes, and then you'll come back into the game after 10 minutes. And the game went on to extra time, which could have been quite interesting. And from a fan point of view, I think a player sitting out for 10 minutes and coming back into the game, it could also be exciting because the other team is one man down, and you have a chance of 10 minutes to do what you want.
The flip side of what you are saying, Big Zona, is that players can take advantage of that as well. You understand? They could commit fouls knowing that 10 minutes out and they are back in. So it has its downside. You understand? I think of a situation of is it Luis Suarez in the World Cup? You understand? Yeah, we have moments where players need to take those fouls for the team, even if they get red carded. You know, they might, and the team might end up going all the way and winning the game, of which Uruguay, Luis Suarez got a red card, he took one for the team, and Uruguay went all the way. Ghana got knocked,
lost.
you know.
Yeah.
So those for me are the moments that make the game worth it, you know. So yeah, that's just my take on the blue card.
You know, I always wonder what happens in those instances where a player was trying to take one for the team and it actually goes left and things don't go their way. But nonetheless, the African Cup of Nations, Ivory Coast being crowned champion, home soil. Did you see that one coming?
I most certainly did not see that one coming, Big Zo. Ivory Coast, yeah, I could say they are a team that have risen from the dead, so to speak, you understand. I think they qualified as one of the last best number threes and went on all the way to win it, you know. So more than anything, I think the home ground advantage, you know, that patriotism and all of that, it helped them a great deal. Because I remember after their last group game, they got lectured. They almost did not leave the stadium. You understand? Yeah, it was a whole thing where the players and the technical team were the last to leave the stadium. They got lectured by the legends, the association supporters. So I think maybe that's the light bulb moment that they needed to say, you know what, if we are given a chance, if we qualify, we have to do this for our country. So
I mean, you see what happened with Ivory Coast. We know it happened with Portugal in the Euros, where they were they were the last best number three, and then they went all the way to winning the Euros. Do you think maybe it's high time we should start thinking about, you know, adding more teams to make them 32, so that top two teams in a group, they actually qualify and go all the way, than us having this 4 best number threes?
Definitely, Pixo. That one, without a doubt, I believe it will balance things off nicely, where people have fair group stage matches and the best number twos qualify. Yeah, we can say to a certain extent it is a bit unfair, but at the end of the day, every country participated knowing that those are the rules, you understand? So now we can't say because it's Ivory Coast who benefited then, but at the end of the day, I believe that we should increase the number of teams. It will balance things off and it will create more competition, just like we saw in this edition.
Oh man, it's really insane.
Sure.
To think about it. It's crazy, but I know it's a party hard in Ivory Coast, because I mean, home soil, bad start, but what a finish. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Those words are very important.
It's a principle.
But let's go to a break, Coach Dona. When we come back, we are definitely going to look at the African Cup of Nations holistically, from our performance as a nation to Nigeria game, as well as the final as well. Off to a break, we are definitely coming back. It's in the game. Welcome back to In the Game, and definitely we are looking into the African Cup of Nations, and we're going to look at it where it was most exciting in the game that Bafana played against Nigeria in the semi-finals. Coach Dona, look, that was a game that got everyone in the world on their feet. I've never seen the internet so excited over a game. Look, we were supposed to have taken that one.
I definitely believe so, Pixo. What an incredibly tough game, number one, you understand. I think the rivalry of SA and Nigeria stems a long way back, you understand, hence the whole hype that the media created. But I think statistically the odds did favor Nigeria a little bit, but as I've said from our very first episode, South Africa has talent. We do not lack talent, and even in that game, Pixo, it's a game that we should have won. At the end of the day, it's a game that I believe we could have collected a maximum result. It shouldn't have even dragged to penalties. We could have won it. We played well. We could have won it.
But let's talk about the game itself. Maybe let's start with the 90, including the extra time. Because we had moments in both the 90 minutes and as well as in the extra time where we could have buried the game. What do you make of that game, in total? The chances that we missed and, the hard work that has been put on also by the defense.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it was a game of two halves, Cup competitions, knockout competitions boil down to chances, the team that buries most of their chances will ultimately win the game, And just as you said, we did get our chances. Mahopa did get a chance. Pesita, the one player who the whole country is bashing, he could have won that game for us, you understand. But I'm actually happy that he still kept on. He did not give up, and he eventually got us the penalty.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that VAR that got overturned, Nigeria was 2-0 up until that VAR moment that they realized that Pesita was actually fouled. So I'm happy that he got us the penalty, but if you look at the chances that he missed, those chances, it's game, set, and match.
Look, we can also look even into the goal that Nigeria scored to make it 1-1. To make it 1-0
Yes.
before we could equalize with a penalty as well. That penalty for me, I feel like Mvala could have done better. Maybe directed the player to the line instead, Osman to the line instead of maybe just committing there. Your thoughts on that penalty?
MPIXO, football is a game of mistakes, you understand. At the end of the day, if you make a mistake, especially in the box, you get punished. I'm two-sided about that moment. Yes, the obvious clear one that everyone saw was that Mvala could have been a little bit more patient, dragged Osimhen to the line, maybe toe poked it and maybe tried to get a clearance. But at the end of the day, he took his chance. He thought he was making the right decision, but Osimhen was a little bit too fast. But credit to Osimhen as well, If you look at the moment before he even got to the box, he fought. He fought for that ball. He was pushing our defenders all around. He got to the box and he forced the foul. So credit to a player like Victor Osimhen. He has heart, he has character, and it was a deserved penalty at the end of the day.
Most definitely. I think at some point I started to realize that that's what he was looking for, that penalty, that moment where, that Cristiano vibe where it's very difficult to break the back line and you just, decide that let's go for a penalty and let's see if we can get one. And how he was moving, you could tell, his footballing intelligence was saying, this is about that moment, this defense is very solid, but a mistake is that once a defense is solid, and we keep on attacking, they would start to commit a lot, and Mvala gave him that. But nonetheless, we also got a penalty there that you spoke about earlier on. How important was that penalty? That
penalty was crucial. After we got hit on the counter, I saw the incident and I saw the Pesita incident and I was two ways about it. I thought, okay, you know what? Sharp, the referee's gonna leave it, but we got hit on a quick break after that. The goal that Nigeria scored, it was classic counter-attack football. Nigeria got that second one, and in that moment my heart just sank. I thought, you know what, guys, I'm switching off my TV. This is it.
This is that.
Yeah. But after I saw the game pausing, with the consideration of VAR, I thought we might just be in it. So credit to Pesita again. Like I just said, he's been under a lot of criticism and scrutiny. To a certain extent, rightfully so, because he's one of our star players. It's expected for our quality star players to deliver. He's had a very average tournament, it must be said, given his standards. But I believe that he deserved more support from the country more than criticism, and I'm happy that he was the one who got us that foul that turned things around for us, but it was a crucial moment.
Listen, towards the end of the extra time, we got a free kick. Mukwena did what he did best, and Modau had an opportunity to a second ball, but it was very unfortunate. What do you make of that moment right there? Because I believe that's where we should have buried that game. Nigeria after that was gonna do nothing if we converted.
Chances, MPIXO. You know, after that incident, I laughed alone and I said, Mudau did what any defender could do. He cleared safety first, you know, just jokingly. But jokes aside, that moment right there and then, a little bit of 2 seconds of composure, you put that ball in the net, we are in the final. So it's a game of chances. It was unfortunate.
Listen, I keep asking myself, could he have, stopped the ball and then nicely take it? Could, it was a lot going on in a very short space of time, under pressure. But just to wrap it up, as far as that semi-final is concerned, as a last, comment before we jump on to the break, are we terrible at penalties?
We are not. We are not terrible in penalties.
In terms of kickers, though,
I will come in as a coach and say, alluding to my previous statements, that penalties are a lottery. You can practice for penalties. You can have people who we say they are our kickers or whatever the case might be. But if the opposition goalkeeper on the day guesses right and saves those penalties, then all of a sudden, whoever that we thought was a great penalty kicker becomes a terrible penalty kicker. Yeah. So I think the penalties lean more towards how the keeper saves them. So I think in that way we are not terrible in penalties. Penalties are a lottery. It's any man's game.
You know what, Coach? On that note, let's go to a break. You heard what the coach had said. Penalties are any man's game. We are going to break. When we come back, we are definitely concluding with the African Cup of Nations and touching a little bit on the ABC Motsepe League as well, because that is happening and it's hot. And we also give you the name of the winner for the airtime competition. Off to a break. This is In the Game. The coach just said it, that the penalties are very difficult, and he's been mentioning from the previous shows that he doesn't like penalties. But guess what? Unfortunately, that was also our fate in the third and fourth game, Coach. What do you make of that game? Because unfortunately, we had to take it through penalties, and Ronwen Williams again coming to the party.
Yeah, I believe in the 90, if we are honest as South Africans, DR Congo had more chances than us. They had clearer chances to bury that game, I don't know if it's an issue of the spirits were a bit down, the expectation was we could have beaten Nigeria and went to the final. So it will always be difficult to lift yourself up after a semi-final defeat, you understand?
Yeah.
So I'm happy that even in the midst of DR Congo missing those chances, we still put up a fight, and Ronza came through for us again, you understand, and he also got the Golden Glove, well deserved. We cannot even debate or doubt that he deserved that Golden Glove.
I understand very well what you're saying. I think for DR Congo, it could have meant a lot for them to win the bronze medal, but for us, looking at how we played in the semis, I mean, we were a team to watch, definitely. So we should have went through, and the morale of the players is most likely expected to drop a bit, but we came home with that bronze medal. But as we were saying, Nigeria was a bit better though in the final.
Yeah, Nigeria has quality players, they have a good team, very structured. They have your Osimhen's there on top, and Lockman, that other winger, Moses on the side. They have the pace up front, but I think the biggest strength is the defense. Solid, resolute defense. They don't take nonsense at the back, and like I said in previous shows, defense wins championships, you understand. At the end of the day, if a team cannot score, they cannot win. So defense will always be a crucial component of any success of a team. So going into the final, they were the better team for me. Unfortunately, they were up against the thousands. They were up against the thousands and thousands of Ivory Coast fans. So that helped Ivory Coast a lot. That helped them a lot, you understand? And just like we said, Ivory Coast coming from almost being knocked out, you know, it served as a motivation for them to say, guys, we've been winning, so let's just try and go all the way.
Coach, you know, that's how we wrap up the African Cup of Nations. Sure. And I want us to quickly look into the ABC Motsepe League, because that's something exciting that's about to come to an end in the Free State. I watched the 2-2 draw between CUT and Celtic. If you look at it, the teams that are fighting for it, who do you think will go all the way to the playoffs? Because you have Mangaung United fighting, you have Mataitai coming in as a dark horse. If Mangaung are not careful, miracles will happen. You have Celtic trying to take another stream, but you also have the General there who are trying to get that place, you know, though they have a bigger challenge, that is the Nedbank Cup coming on their way, but definitely they would love to go to the playoffs.
ABC Motsepe is such a difficult league, MPIXO, especially to win it. I've been fortunate enough that this is actually my second season in it. I was an assistant coach last year at FC Black Horse, so I got to learn a lot about it. And this is actually my first season as a head coach in that league. And I speak humbly about it because I'm actually one of the teams who are at the bottom trying to fight relegation. So I understand how difficult it is to win games in this league. And when we go to the teams that you speak about there at the top, it's gonna be a finish. We're going right to the last games for this one, because on paper, if we look at the one stream of the General and Bloemfontein Celtics, those are the two teams who are fighting for it. On paper, we can say that Bloemfontein Celtics have the quality, they have the facilities, the infrastructure, or whatever you may call it. So they should be able to go all the way and win the stream, possibly win the playoffs as well, the regional playoffs as well. So I'm tipping Bloemfontein Celtics on that side to win it. I think they have the quality to go all the way, but we cannot discard the General. You know, they are just behind them, 3 points behind. This coming weekend they're playing a decider, you know, so that could change the game. The General is high on confidence. They threw to their last 32 of the Nedbank competition, so their team high on confidence. We cannot rule them out, but I think Celtics have the upper hand in terms of quality of players. And when we look at the other stream, I believe that Mangaung United should be able to go all the way. The team that's competing against them, Mataitai FC, they are competing very well. They are giving them a run for their money, but I do not think they have the quality that will match Mangaung. So I'm anticipating Bloemfontein Celtics Mangaung in the regional playoffs.
Quite interesting, Coach.
Sure.
I can't really wait to see that, you know, happen, because one thing I've realized also with the General, tactically, they're very disciplined since they got Coach Festin Otane as the coach. You know, they are a team that goes in there, gets the first goal, and start waiting for you to make those mistakes, and you know, use those mistakes to actually counter you. So this game for them between the General, the game between Bloem Celtic and the General, I think it's going to be one of those highly anticipated games in the competition. But talking about competitions, Coach, we ran a competition for airtime.
Sure.
And this time around, unfortunately, a lot of people were really giving us predictions that were very far from what the game was. Not even one believed that the game will go on to penalties, but we have two people, right, that said the game will end at 1-1 in in the 90 minutes, right? In Wiza Sulaiman. Oh, that's such a difficult name. But if you happen to win, they'll write it on the screen. And we also have Tembi Sicholwane. So what we're going to do, Coach, since you've been our guest,
Sure.
we've put their names in this beautiful glass right here. And what you're going to do is just to pick one. Now we are playing the lottery.
The magic jar. The magic jar.
The magic jar, Coach. So I'll leave it all to you to pick one paper so that we see.
Do I read the name out?
Yeah, please
Okay.
just read the name so that we see who's the winner for the 200 rands airtime.
Okay, the winner is Tembi Sicholwane.
Tembise Cholwane, you are definitely our winner and your name will definitely be on the screen. Congratulations, Free State Online channel will definitely contact you very soon. Just to wrap it up, Coach, how do you feel about the General now being able to play their Nedbank Camp last 32 at home at the Toyota Stadium?
It was disappointing initially when I saw the General Chairman post that the game could be moved to Gauteng. So
yeah.
the fact that it's coming back home is so great for Free State football. I was fortunate that last season my team was the one in the last 32 and we played our last 32 FC Black Horse at Dr. Rantlai. So just that vibe, just that support from your hometown is crucial. So I'm very happy that finally the General got their wish. So we will be able to support them. I'm happy for them.
That's really great to see the General, going all the way to the last 32 and being able to go and play that last 32 game at the Toyota Stadium.
Yes.
I hope that Free State people will go out there and support them though. That's very important to go out there and really support our local teams. I saw when Black Rose was there, man, grandstand at the Dr. Rantlai was packed, which was amazing. So I hope we're going to have a similar situation with the General at the Toyota Stadium. But that's how we wrap it up on today's on today's show of In the Game. And listen, we can't wait to see you next week. And don't be shy to tell others that there's this exciting show that gives you all the details as far as sports is concerned. And as always, I would never drop the mic without saying this: to whom much is given, much is expected, and to whom much is expected, much is required. Every champion that is a champion today was once a contender who refused to give up. I'm MPIXO.P, the greatest, God willing. I'll see you next time. Ayoba.